ST My Life is the career exploration and academic program for South Dakota. And the program helps students understand how their interests, skills, and knowledge relate to real-world academic and career opportunities, preparing them for life after high school. ST My Life is supported by Xello and is free to access for all grade 6 to 12 students and educators in South Dakota. Xello can assist students with building a personal learning plan where they may complete research, select and plan their future careers in Xello, and more. Xello is proud to be an engaging K-12 online program uniquely designed to help every student, regardless of background, ability, or pathway, in the preparation required to be successful now and after high school. Xello has been recognized as a leader and was awarded the EdTech Award for Best Career Planning Solution for 2019 and 2020, as well as the Tech and Learning Award of Excellence. But what makes Xello different is that it puts your students at the center of their college and career planning experience. And through that lens, we've built the features and functions that will help you check off the boxes on student college and career readiness, while also engaging students to be excited and motivated through that process. And our commitment to partnership drives results. Clients are seeing tangible improvements in software adoption, triple-digit increases in logins, and time spent outside of school hours using the Xello program. And there's peace of mind that students are doing the work needed to transition smoothly between ages and stages and graduate with the skills and knowledge to succeed. But beyond student engagement, why is Xello the solution for educators? It's a program that aligns to your state and district mandates and standards for college and career readiness. That includes the National ASCA standards for student mindsets and behaviors, and supports South Dakota's personal learning plan administrative rules, recognizing the importance of helping students align their interest and skills with potential career opportunities, because an individual's interest and aptitude can impact their potential success and satisfaction in different career opportunities and work environments. And in alignment with the administrative rules, school districts may use Xello to administrate a career interest assessment by the conclusion of grade 8 and a career aptitude assessment by the end of the fall semester of grade 10. It's also a program that makes tracking and reporting on student success more efficient. While an engaging student experience is critical, what's equally important is an interface that's simple, quick, and intuitive for educators to use. A system where you can see at a glance how your students are performing, where intervention is needed, and how you're tracking towards your goals. And our ability to meet both student and educator needs isn't a happy accident. We've been doing this for a while. With our longstanding focus, expertise, and commitment to college and career readiness, Xello is more than a program, we're a partner. I'll now pass it on to Myriam to tell you more about Xello's college success tools.
Yes, so before we dive into the college success tools, we wanted to take some time to highlight the remote learning tools that we have in the Xello program. So we do have interactive lessons, and as you will determine, how your districts and schools will start this school year, whether it's online or in class, these ready-made tools are available to you and can be used in class or at home. So these lessons cover a variety of topics tied with the social and emotional learning topics. So Xello's interactive lessons have been developed to help these busy educators save time and address certain SEL gaps that there may be, and also in a grade specific way. Ready-made curriculum that helps students build those SEL competencies, practical skills, and connect the real world in a fun and engaging way. All these lessons are backed up by research and designed in-house. So we do have a research team in-house, and we also have a design team who creates all these wonderful resources. These highly engaging lessons employ a variety of interactive modules such as a drag and drop, multiple choice, and we also leave space for free-form personal reflection. Now moving on to the college application tools or college success tools. We at Xello are forever growing the platform. We really strive to make it a one-stop shop, and so we've created a centralized location for students to track their applications. And so educators can easily gain insight into individual student college choices and applications. When they look at a student's profile, they can see all these activities, and it helps them stay organized and save time by allowing students to request transcripts and letters of recommendation directly within Xello. We're going to dive into the program a bit later. In terms of the college application checklist, so within the college application tools, students will have a college application checklist as students begin to prepare for their applications, for their chosen schools, they can check progress and pending items in a consolidated hub. Students see exactly where things stand for each of their schools, helping them to stay on top of what's required. The application requirements are directly pulled from Peterson's database. So when students essentially apply for a college, there will be by default a list of items, but however, students can they can always, the program is flexible where students can add custom tasks, which makes it easy for students to keep track of what's required. Through this checklist, students can also request letters of recommendation with a click of a button. So we always strive to make it really easy for students. And the third part of the college success tools, we have the College Knowledge Hub, which is essentially just a moment, which is essentially a space where students have resources to help guide them through the college planning journey. So it uses short digestible articles and videos to help students understand complex topics. And the Knowledge Hub currently holds information on FAFSA, scholarships, grants, loans, and work-study programs. We're always striving to get more and more information out there for the students to make it all easy for them, and it's just easy access content within the whole college application tools. And so we're planning to release ACT and SAT prep, personal essays, transcripts and letters of recommendation information, Common App, which I will talk a bit later, and information on next steps, such as accepting an offer and, what's coming up for the next year. So once I've applied for college, how do I prepare for my first year? So more information to come. Moving to the local scholarships piece, we've added this year the local scholarships piece, which everything is managed online, still in the college success tools, which absolutely makes sense. So As for the local scholarships, using preset form fields, educators can easily add local scholarships into Xello, increasing scholarship exposure and making it easier for students to view and compare and apply. So at Xello, we've been hearing that it's been difficult for students to keep up with all the local scholarships that are out there, and oftentimes they are being missed. So we're striving to find a way for us to have all this information centralized to make it easier for students to see them and apply for them. Students have access to the full list of local scholarships and can easily search by keyword or sort by scholarship name, amount, and deadline. So obviously they can use those filtering tools to drill down on the ones that are really of interest to them. This is new this year. We are now in partnership with Common App integration. And Common App, I mean, Xello is truly committed to finding ways to make college applications easier to manage for students and educators, and used by nearly 900 post-secondary institutes in the US. Common App is a single unified application that really consolidates tasks and documents for college applications. So essentially, students will be able to request the missing documents through Xello, and because of this integration, Xello information will be synced to this app, and students will be able to apply to the colleges directly through the app. So this is a way of doing things. I mean, it's been, it's used in a lot of post-secondary institutes, and it's now available with Xello. If that's something that you can see yourself using with your students, we can definitely talk. So essentially the benefits for students is just we're striving to make it a quicker and easier application experience. And for educators, it's really to have a centralized, organized, and streamlined application management process. I believe we have some time to dive into the program directly, so I will do so. As we, so this is essentially what you're seeing is the educator dashboard. So once an educator, if you're familiar with Xello, once an educator logs in, this is the first view of their dashboard. I will not spend a lot of time in the educator tools. However, I just want to show you a little bit of what that looks like. As far as the educator tools. So on your left, you will see if your college success tools have been activated, and that's really a simple process where you reach out to us and you let us know that you're interested in having this turned on for your district. Then we do the back end work and we make that, the onboarding manager will work with you guys to make this possible. And so you will now see your college planning tools, which are right here, and you'll see your transcript information, letters of recommendation, and local scholarships. So that's essentially where you manage all these three things. Now, if we go back to the dashboard, you will also know if you're using if you're familiar with Xello, you will notice that you have demo students, and that is where we can see essentially what it looks like on the student side. So I've selected a grade 12 student. Now you're looking at the student dashboard. This is the new student dashboard where they have the progress tracking here. They have their three main sections, the About Me section, the Explore Options section, and the Goals and Plans section. You can see the assignments part and the links and resources that you can share with them and all their lessons that obviously I haven't completed yet. If I log into the, if I click on the college planning tools, because that's where I want to head, I can do so right here and see the college planning tools. So we have first the college applications tool, we have the local scholarships, and we have the Knowledge Hub. So I wanted to do a little exercise with you guys and just create a first application together. So let's go on and do that. So let's say I want to apply for a college in South Dakota, for instance. I don't know any South Dakota State University. Let's just pick this one. Next. And then they will fill their information. So it says fill in your application details in the fields below. They will be able to select the admission type. I will just click on rolling admission. Application deadline obviously should be soon. I'm going to put here, I don't know, November 1st, for instance, just as an example. We always provide a little bit of information to the right here, admission types, to give them, you know, information on what these terms mean. And then once I'm done, I click on create. Now I have initiated my first college applications at South Dakota State University. I see information here, the location, the rolling admission, application deadline. You can always edit this here. So once I've created, by default, like I had mentioned, this information is pulled from Peterson's database. We know that to apply for this university or college, we have to have these two items checked off our list, but we can also add some. If there's other things that I would like to add, a recommendation letter or whatever the case may be, I can also add these things here. So if I add this here, so I will have the letters of recommendation now part of my list, and I will be able to simply just go through my list, you know, just manage the due dates here, mark as complete whenever those things are complete. But I can definitely request my transcript, and I can request my letters of recommendation by a click of a button here. So very straightforward, very easy. If you are no longer interested in applying for this college, you can always delete it. However, we make it a little bit, you know, we bring a warning to this, as we want to make sure that that's the decision that the students are really wanting to take. If I want to go back to my college application tools, I can do so here. College planning, sorry. I can do so here. So once I've applied, once I've created my application here for this university, I see it here, and I can see the full list if I've applied to many, and it will grow as the student will apply. In terms of local scholarships, I went ahead and created two examples of local scholarships. So just to show you how really that works, on the educator side, when the educator adds the local scholarships, it will pop up for the student here. And so the student will be able to use the search bar. So search for local scholarships. They can use keywords here to look for specific scholarships. If it's relating to nursing, for example, it will come up here. I have added those two examples here. If they're, for instance, I think I had clicked on Nursing Memorial Scholarship. The information is already inputted here very easily. It is very digestible content, very easy to read. A little bit of a description on the local scholarship here that has been added. The application requirements are all here. The application criteria is here, and the contact details. Now, for the contact details, I have added contact school counselor, but it also gives us the option to add a specific contact. If there's someone at your district or school that manages local scholarships, maybe that's the contact we would like to put in there. But obviously there's a lot more fields out here, just for the sake of time, just for the sake of time, I have put in some information, but there's a lot more criteria that can go into here and make it flexible for you guys. So I'm interested in this local scholarship, so I'm going to add it here. And once I add it here, if I go back to my local scholarship list, I see it right here. It pops up here. So I can definitely manage it right here. I've applied, I won, or removed from this list. A really cool tracking feature here. And then I want to go back to my college planning tools. I went through my local scholarships, decided which local scholarships I was interested in applying for. And I go down to the Knowledge Hub where I see additional information on the 3 main topics that we have right now. As I had mentioned during the presentation, we are planning on releasing 9 in total. So really cool information here, quick information on FAFSA application. Just want to show you what the layout looks like. Really, again, digestible content. Apply early, create your FAFSA ID, set aside 30 minutes, and then more information on FAFSA basics, just a little bit of a FAQ type of information list. What you'll need, filling out the FAFSA information, and then after applying, and FAFSA troubleshooting. So there's a lot of things here. Just FAFSA is just an example. If I go back to my college planning tools and I click on grants, work, study, and loans, again, digestible content here, comparing types of aids, grants, what is a grant? Does a grant have to be repaid? You know, just digestible information, and we're answering some of the questions that they probably will have. Work study, loans, and then important links are shared also with them here. So those are just examples. We are definitely planning on adding more here as the college success tools is forever growing. Xello is always striving to, have a one-stop shop for students to be able to locate all the information that they need within the platform. So to make it easier for them and for educators as well. We do have quite a bit of time left, so if there's anything that my colleagues maybe want to add to any of the features that we've seen, I'm just going to talk about the next steps. So if we obviously have time dedicated for questions, but if you are a school or a district that is using Xello and would like to expand and use the college success tools, it's really a simple process where you reach out to our client solutions team and they will pass this information on to us, and we will treat the request. So we work closely with the client solutions team, and they know to ping us when there's interest with the college success tools. Before I move on to questions, is there anything my colleagues would like to add, or thumbs up for all good? Thumbs up. All right, so we do have, I think I saw a bunch of questions here in the chat box. I'm not sure, Noah, if you were able to monitor all of that. If you, let me just check here.
Yes, Myriam, we're monitoring the chat. I do see there's an outstanding question from Dave, so I'm just pulling together some resources to help address that question.
And while you're doing that, we did receive a question come in around virtual college or career tours. And maybe, Myriam, if you don't mind jumping into the program again, we can show where that is located within Xello.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I believe I already have it here. Oh yeah. So once I log into as a student, grade 12 student, I can go here in my explore options. Oh, it's logging me out. I haven't. Maybe I have too many pages opened. Okay. Diving into the grade 12 demo student. Clicking on the explore options. So I want to take a look at, I want to see a virtual tour of UW-Madison, for example. or maybe let's click on a school that is in South Dakota. Yeah, I want South Dakota. So they can use these filtering options. There's a lot more filtering options here that they can use to really select, you know, the type of school they want to apply for. So I clicked on South Dakota. Whoop. For instance, which ones? Okay, this one. Let's go back to South Dakota State University. And so you know, it's complicated for the virtual tour right now. I just want to see what this campus really looks like, a quick and easy way. I'm just, you know, scrolling down. There's a lot of information before I actually get to the virtual tour, but just skimming through, you can definitely look at that on your demo student account and look at all the information that's available for your students. I will want to do a campus tour. So we have an integration with Google. So Google allows us to pick up that little yellow guy and essentially drop into some areas of the campus that I could maybe even drop into the facility itself. So I can, okay, so where am I? So this is definitely so this is a room where, an auditorium where from that university, so you can see what it actually looks like and do your little virtual tour here. So probably one of the sessions here going on, and we have access to that image. I can always go back and take that little guy, and I used to run track, so I want to see what the track looks like. I'm not sure if we can drop it here. No. Not really. Okay, here. That must be in outdoors. So if you want to see what the outdoor of the campus looks like, you can really take some time and just click through and navigate the surroundings. Really, it looks like it's well maintained. Looks like a really nice campus here. So that is essentially the virtual tour that we can get with via the integration with Google. If I want to see, you know, as students are planning to go into to go to college, they can see, you know, where's the nearest restaurant, where's the nearest grocery store, so they can actually go and do that via this this app right here within Xello. So that's pretty neat. Was there anything, any other questions relating to maybe the schools or the careers or?
Myriam, there's a question in the chat about career videos and virtual job shadowing. So I think taking a deeper look at a career profile in Xello would be helpful. And then I'll add some more information to the chat section as well.
Yep. I'm just going to click on the careers. I always tend to take the same one, but I'm just going to take, let's take this one. Aerospace engineering. Look at the quality of the images. Okay, so you were asking about what specifically? Noah?
Just a deeper dive into the career profile. Delmar had a question about career videos. So I know we have interviews and lots of really useful information on the career profiles in Xello that I think would help answer that question.
So every career profile really has an image that is essentially taken from our photographer in-house. So those people that you see in those images are actually professionals in their job. We definitely put, you know, effort in that because we wanted to make the photos really represent what each professional was doing in their day-to-day work. We have quick information on the salary they're making, and the typical route for your college. So we have a little bit of digestible information on the job description here. All the content has been made by us. So really digestible content. It comparing to other platforms out there, this is a grade 6 reading level to make it accessible for all students. We always have two interviews here. So one from a female, one from a male, and obviously we want to put at the forefront diversity as well, so we can see Sherry's full interview on her career as this profession. So she gives us the pros, the cons, the advice that she's also giving us advice, some questions and answers, and she gives us a full description of a day in the life of her, doing her her job. So essentially from 9 to 10, 10 to noon, and this is a really neat little description here. There's also information on the breakdown of activities that she provides us. What other jobs could you do with the skills you have gained in this field? So really a lot of good content out here relating to the job, and that can help a student get a general understanding of what that person in this career is actually doing, and to give them a good understanding of, is this really what I want to do, you know? So same thing for the uh, the other person that we have an interview with. So we always have two interviews. He also gives us a description of his full day breakdown and more information. So if I click on done here, we also have information on the companies. So check out which companies hire people in this career. So we can always dive into that. And then declining demand. So is the career increasing in demand, declining, or stable? We provide that information. We also share the core tasks, the workplace. What does it look like at that workplace? Are they going to work a lot outdoors? Is it going to be a 60-hour week, 40-hour week? And then work conditions. A lot more information over here on the work conditions and earnings. We give them information a bit about earnings, and usually it really sets to the state which I am in. Where is my South Dakota? So it must be my demo account. So as your students will be logging in, can't find it. As your students will be logging in, they will have by default South Dakota showing. However, they can always toggle and change states if they want to see in different states what the salary is, what the wages, and that information is taken from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. So it's always updated yearly. We also give them the sample career path. So a lot of the times when students look at careers, they think that there's only one path to this career. We really like to give them the full information on all the pathways that are really laid out in front of them, so that they can choose the right pathway for them to get to that specific career. More information on education and training. There's a lot of work that can be derived just from one career profile, and a lot of exercises and lessons, so, and the related majors. So I'm not sure, Noah, if you wanted me to hone in on, if you wanted to add anything on any parts here.
That's great. Thank you, Myriam.
any more questions in the chat, or if someone, I'm not sure if people are allowed to unmute themselves.
We have addressed, I believe, all the questions in the chat. We do have the capability to unmute attendees. If anyone wants to ask a question, we can do that en masse or individually. But otherwise, we are using the chat to share questions today.
Sounds good.
I've just changed the settings to allow everyone to unmute themselves if they would like to. Yeah, and Delmar's asked a question, since we do have time today, if we can run through the goals and plans section for a few moments.
Yep.
Perfect, thanks.
So students have the ability to create plans. So essentially, I think I'm going to have to, so essentially to get to that goals and plans section, I really call it as the end activities of this whole experience in Xello, where they've looked at the careers, they've saved schools and majors in their Explorer options, and then they dive into My Plans to create a plan for themselves. So I'm just going to quickly, click on schools again, South Dakota. I absolutely want to go here. I'm going to click on save. So I saved this one, so it's going to stay in my saved options. And then I want to see what they offer here. For instance, agriculture, economics, for instance. I want to save this here because that's the program I'll be applying for, instance. And so if I go back to my goals and plans section, I can, oh, is it here? Oh, create a plan. So I just want to go back to the initial view that we had. Was it here? No, it was here. I click on my plans. Oh, okay. So now that I've added those features, saved those features, I can go on and create a plan. So it says, it's time to connect your saved careers, schools, and majors and create a plan. So here I go. So the first part of the goals and plans section is really to highlight those things. So you can see that these are available. This one is not available. You don't have any saved careers. So I would have to go back and save a career. So for instance, I can click here on school. What's my plan called? So I don't know, I'm graduating next year. I'm just gonna call it South Dakota U Plan. South Dakota U Plan. Next. And so I'm gonna have, essentially, I would have all the list of my saved colleges right here. So I can pick from the ones that I want to start creating a plan with. You can create as many plans as you want. So I want to click on this one right here. And then it says, I want to attend this college. And what do you want to study? I want to study this. So this is going to be my plan. Oh, next. So essentially, I would have to have a career. So it would say, I want to attend this college, I want to study this, and I want to become this career. So looking good. Are you ready to create this plan? Okay, let's do it. Let's create a plan. So I will attend South Dakota State University. That's my first plan, right? I can do as many plans as I want. Chose the school, chose the major, and then I can add a text here concerning this plan of choice. So this is usually an extended activity where I'm seeing educators just, letting the student reflect on this choice and then sharing that back with if it's if it's other teammates or focus groups or whatever the case may be. So this work can be done here. So this is really the goals and plans section. So before we get to the goals and plans section, you quickly understand that the student has to have spent quite a bit of time assessing and reflecting on their future choices. So in the goals and plans section, we also have course planner, which we will not dive into, but it's essentially a 4-year planning tool that allows students to pick their really select their courses for the following year. And we have the college planning tool, which we spent a little bit of time today, which houses all the application activities, local scholarships, and then more information on detailed topics. So that is essentially the goals and plans section. Feel free if you want to add anything, Noah.
Yeah, Myriam, Delmar had a question about if a student chooses a career that doesn't require post-secondary education, how that would work in the goals and plans section. So did we want to try maybe working through the flow of that and finding a career that doesn't require post-secondary education? I'm not sure if you have one in mind, or Delmar,
I
if you
don't.
possibly have one as well. I'm just trying to bring one up in my demo account to provide us with a good example to work through that process. And a note to all, we are tracking all of the questions that are being asked today and sharing resources in a Google folder, in a Google Doc that Megan has provided. So we'll of course be adding resources after we finish up as well. So feel free to check that out and we'll make sure to get all your questions answered. Thank you, Megan.
Well, you can also, or not Noah, but Myriam, you can also show them the help.xello.world if you want, because there's a lot of great resources out there that they can explore too.
Really good idea. So we do have a Xello support page. If you go on Xello, help.xello.world, and I really, when I speak to you know, counselors, educators, or district leads or school leads, I really invite them to bookmark this website, because this is essentially where you will find all the resources on everything in Xello. I call it the Google for Xello. I use the search bar quite a bit of time. I actually use this on a daily basis. It's really easy for me to find information. For instance, I want to find information on the lessons. I just look it up in my search bar, and I see here lesson resources for U.S. educators, Xello 612. Sounds interesting. So I can definitely dive into specific topics right away. I can also, if I go back to the home page, I can click on Xello 612, because I'm an educator who's, you know, looking over these grade levels, but we also have the elementary piece as well. And then you have here the list on the left, all the categories that are listed, but we also have the getting started information. So if you're someone that's relatively new with the program and wants to learn a little bit about the program, getting around your educator account, we have a resource for that. We have a resource for getting started with your educator account as well. Introducing students to Xello, we have a PDF. We've created a ton of resources, so there's a lot of things that you essentially don't necessarily need to create for yourselves or for other educators that are new and you want to help them. You can actually take those resources straight off of here as web links, and then share it through an email if you want, or just have, you know, a Google Doc and house all the main ones that you really want to share with other team members. So we have a letter introducing Xello to parents already made for you guys. So, you know, you don't need to create one. We have promotional posters. So, and then one-on-one, Xello one-on-one quick start guides, if that can be of any help. We also have, if I click here on live webinars, we have live webinars going on specific topics. So you want to have an overview. It's the beginning of the school year. You forgot a little bit of how the student experience looks like or the educator experience. You just want to refresh. Those live webinars are really helpful for that. But we also have feature spotlights. So specific specific webinars on lessons are here, college planning tools in Xello. So after today's presentation, you want to have a deep dive on the tools, college planning tools. I suggest you register to this one, but there's a lot more topics here. Again, if you want to use the lessons this year, we have a ton of resources. You can share those videos, and we've made them short and digestible. This one is 2 minutes 32. We also have PDFs if you prefer PDFs. We have the full list of the lessons is here as well. All the lessons are here. Learning objectives, prerequisites, and supplementary activities. If you want to start using the assignments feature in Xello, it's also here. So we have a lot of, the step-by-step guidelines on creating an assignment, edit an assignment, copy an assignment, really simple and user-friendly here. So tons of resources to get you guys started. We also launched this year, I guess it's the last point that I could add, a blog. So the Xello blog, which houses a ton of articles that is extremely relevant to what is going on, for instance, out in the world and relating to it back to school. So for instance, we added a section on virtual learning. So if virtual learning is the direction your district is taking this year, we have a ton of resources here. We have planning for the upcoming school year, preparing your students for transition to the next grade and how to catch up due to COVID-19 disruptions. Just a ton of resources. We even have a guide to prepare students through K-12 for future success. So a guide for remote learning. This is free of charge. You can open it up, view it, and maybe take some ideas that you want to implement this year. So there's another one here that I like, social emotional learning, ensuring students build essential skills and maintain their mental health, even if they're out of the classroom. So, and there's a lot of the times that we have districts sharing, how they're using Xello in specific core topics that we want to discuss and bring to the forefront. So these two really I use on a daily basis, the Xello support webpage, which is my Google for Xello, and the virtual learning as I share resources to help support educators or counselors or district leads if they want to share that down to the educators.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for answering all those questions, ladies. It's super helpful. We have reached 10:50, which is the end of our session. So I believe Janelle will end the recording. But you can reach out to help@xello.world, or you can email myself, megan.tatum@state.sc.us, and I can forward that on to these ladies. They just put their contact information up on the screen as well. And if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me or them. And I appreciate you guys' time presenting today and sharing all this great information with everybody.